Hello and welcome back to the channels of Metamon Racing Network. A new week and another round of Full Throttle Simracing's IndyCar series. This is round 7, the Wisconsin 200 coming from the Milwaukee mile. Short track racing tonight. And this indicates one thing, heart-thumping action. There's going to be a lot to play for tonight in terms of race strategy and outright pace in each and every single guy's cars tonight. So it's everything to play for, especially with these top championship contending drivers. It's heading into the home stretch this season, so it's 5 rounds to go. These guys really need to get pedal to the metal if they're to really cement their chances heading into that last round, which is going to be a crucial last round at the Long Beach Street Circuit. So all results from here on in need to be pretty much well and truly up there. So tonight joining me in the com is the one and only Michael Shaw. Welcome, Shawry.
Thank you. It's good to be here, and first time jumping in this season commentating, so it should be fun. And this is a challenging track that it's going to challenge the drivers, and should be a good race.
Absolutely. So you've been racing with a fair few of these guys for quite some time now. So we're going to have Aiden Schultz come in for a hot lap, and he's going to commentate that on board with his perspective. You rate his chances tonight?
Hey, Aiden, how you going, mate? Are you all already out there?
Yeah, ready as you'll ever be.
Welcome, Aiden.
Yeah, let's see how we go around the Milwaukee mile. Second time in IndyCar, first time around here. So, no idea what I'm doing. I just learned about Wake Jacker, so got it on 7 clicks. We'll see how we go.
Righto.
Trick is getting out pit lane. We got that done.
A little bit different than last week on the Roval, mate. You done quite well there. How do you like your chances for today's race?
I'll be staying out of trouble, I think. I'm not going to have the outright pace. So down into 4th here, try to get it rotated, late apex. Get on the power as quick as you can without getting sideways. Select that gear early to stop it getting sideways. And 4th, it'll tighten up, miss the apex. Select the gear early. Up the gears, see if we can go quicker the second lap. A little bit up, just dropping now. See where this puts us. Gonna get green, not by much. Still MP5. 0.2 off, so I don't know where that pace is coming from, but we'll see how we go in the race.
Yeah, 23.216.
Awesome to have you in the com box on board with your qualifying that there, Schultzy. Good luck for the rest of the race tonight, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Long way around here, so hopefully the guys are nice and gentlemanlike. Hopefully I don't cause a wreck.
Absolutely.
Good luck, Aiden.
Thanks, guys.
All good. Now, we're just having the first buffer times come in from Mckenzie and Catacasinos. Both those guys in the 22s. We saw Rankin, the only driver in practice, to get in the 22s. He's also on that edge there as well. Malone also following. Reigning champion Mookie's just outside the 22 land, so he's got a little bit of work to do if he's to start from P5. And Schultzy currently in P6 with that 23-1 there, so a decent lap there to put him on the front 3 rows. The championship leader, Ryan Barber, the young gun, he's all the way back in P7 right now, so it's a massive talking point there with his key championship rival starting provisional P1 right now. What do you make of that, Shuri?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough for Ryan. I don't think he's been on this track that much, but he's definitely going to be pushed by Darren, Tom, Julian, and definitely, as you said, Scott Rankin pulling out that 22.9. That was pretty quick in quality in practice, and sort of doing the same time in qualifying as well in P3.
Now, I'm getting the gist. This is definitely a track you want to have track position tonight, especially in the early stage, or especially on the opening lap for that matter. best to probably
Oh,
start near the front. Try not to get
yeah,
caught up in something heading into turn 1 or turn 2.
yeah, I did go out and do a couple of laps. You really got to be careful coming out of 2 and out of 4. That's where you're going to lose, I would say, by putting the foot down too hard. You're going to lose the back end, and it's going to slide out and could cause a little bit of mischief there with the drivers behind you. But I'm sure the guys will sort of take it a little bit easy until they get their rhythm. And yeah, looking forward to it.
So I'm just very shocked with Catacasino's time to punch himself on the front row. He was well and truly up there in practice, but that's a massive jump from his time from practice, that's for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. You can't write Steve out. He's always up there. He's never anyone to leave any back in the garage. He'll do everything possible to be up there at the end.
Absolutely. We saw him come out with a podium result last week at the Roval. He just played the cards right. He got caught up in a couple carnage early in the race, but persisted with what was put forward to him. So he's one of those drivers that really make the most of their bad days as well. So let's see if he can get another podium here.
Just one driver to watch out for. It's his first time in the IndyCar tonight. Ruben Phelps. It's Aiden's teammate. Doesn't usually race a lot of Indy cars. He's definitely quite strong in the truck and the cup cars, but he's just out there to take it a bit easy, I think, for the first race. But don't sort of write him off. I think he might be up in the top 10 really and truly at the end of this race if he can keep it clean.
Thanks for the insight there, mate. So we're going to go to our official starting lineup tonight. So it'll be Daryl Mckenzie for Southern Stars Esports. He'll take pole position with a very quick time, barely pipping Sam Catacasinos, who starts alongside him in P2. Scott Rankin also in that territory there, but unfortunately not good enough to get on the front row. So we'll see him start from P3 alongside him, Adam Malone, another one of the quick guys in the series. So we'll expect to see something from him early on in this race. Tom Pritchard and Julian Mookie, the reigning champ, rounding out the third roadette. Aiden Schultz, who we had commentate his onboard lap in qualifying, will start out in P7. So he's only lost out a couple positions there. So still got plenty of laps to come. We'll see what happens there. See if he can make a few spots in the early stage. And then championship leader, Ryan Barber. He's got a lot of work to do earlier on, so he'd like to keep it clean, and hopefully strategy puts him right into this one. Ray Zerkart will come out in P9 with Peter Baxter alongside him. And we got Troy Profit, Joe Tacasio rounding out row 6. Go further down, we should have one more row.
Yeah, Troy Profit. I think he's raced with us a couple of times. It's a new name that I've heard of. So he's probably one to watch out for.
So we're starting the pace off. And then, on the last row we got Campbell. And then, like you said, Ruben Phelps, a guy to look out for tonight. He's relatively quick in the world of oval racing, that's for sure. As you mentioned before, pretty quick in truck and NASCAR. So we expect to see a decent run from him tonight.
It will be good to see how Aiden does go tonight. He dominated so much of the race last week at the Roval, and this is different for him on the IndyCar on the oval. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes.
Now, I reckon one to watch tonight is Daryl Mckenzie. He hasn't had the best previous 2 weeks. He really needs to get his early season form back if he's to get the better of his teammates. So it's going to be a big round from him tonight to be able to get the upper hand once again.
Green, green, green.
So here we go. We go green for round 7 of the Full Throttle Simracing's IndyCar Series. And what a massive launch there from Catacasinos on the outside, and he'll take quite a comfortable lead heading into turn 1. Relatively clean now, the opening couple of corners there. A little bit of too wide action going on in the background. timing tower up on
Oh,
screen.
there's a little bit of contact back there with Ryan Barber, I think.
Ryan Barber holding on strong right now. He's currently sitting in P7, so we'll go further back on board with that pack to see what's going on. Those guys are really close bumper to bumper back there by the looks of it. As you can see in the background from the race leaders. So we've got Catacasinos. Mookie's actually jumped up 4 positions off the opening couple of laps, so big move from him. Daryl Mckenzie down a couple, so he's lost out big time from pole position. Adam Malone still holds in P4. Scott Rankin also losing out 2 positions. That's your top 5. Aiden Schultz, he's up 1. Tom Pritchard down 3. Baxter up 1. And you've got Phelps, he's up 4, and that's your top 10. So Phelps is already on a charge from the back of the grid. With Ryan Barber. He's got a couple guys up ahead, Pritchard and Baxter. These guys are about to go 3 wide. Barber's backed out of it just for the moment here. He's just going to let the guys ahead deal with it. So it's been relatively clean opening few laps so far. Catacasinos, Mookie, Mckenzie's top 3. What's your thoughts on the opening stage here, Shori?
Very clean, which is very surprising, which is good. As I said, I knew Ruben was going to jump up quite quickly, but Sam is just Sam. If he can stay out there in front, I think he's hard to beat. I know that you got your eye on Darren, but I just think it comes to these.
Sam definitely really putting in the work earlier on. Using up your tyres is another thing as well, though, especially at short track ovals. It's definitely something the guys got to sort of get a healthy medium, get the most out of their tyres, but also get the most out of lap time and the most out of their fuel tank as well. So there's definitely going to be a variation in strategies between these top 3 race leaders. I think Catacasino's really going with an aggressive approach on his opening stint. Tyres limited tonight as well, so I'll wait and see how he saves those. So he's really leads in the field so far.
Yeah, as you were saying before that, track position very important, but if there is a couple of early cautions, I think you might see some of the back markers sort of go in and take tyres. They do have the tyres, so, but it'd be interesting to see, because I don't think the tyres will last very long on it.
Absolutely, especially the rear right's really going to take a beating. You've got to try and rotate as fast as possible, so it's going to get a lot of thermal deck quite early, and it's just going to elevate from there on in, so really going to take care of that.
And Scotty Rankin just made the move past Adam Malone to move up into P4. Yeah, and as Darren just made the move from over Julian, Mookie just had to move into second. gave Sam a bit of edging down to 1.5 second lead now. So he'll build on that, and he'll be hoping there's no cautions at this stage.
I think Mookie's just losing a little bit of momentum here. He's got Scott Rankin in behind a couple of years ago, so he's losing out quite quickly. That early pace was definitely favouring his chances, but all of a sudden drift off out of nowhere, so I'm not sure what the go is there. So Rankin's going down the inside, heading to turn one. He gets that move made quite easy there. Schultz is not too far behind either, so look out for him. Just inside the 5 there, he's got Barber. Peter Baxter, Pritchard, Phelps is up another position up in the P9. Barber rounds out the top 10. Further down we've got Prophet, Casio, Campbell, Zerka, 40 car field. Set that mark tonight if he can really keep this pace up, so also really give his championship perspectives a definite rise coming into the final 4 rounds. He's within the top 5 of the championship, but he needs to get a big haul of points tonight and really chip into that deficit from Ryan Barber at the top.
Yeah, his last win at Charlotte Motor Speedway was a fantastic drive from him as well. I really enjoyed watching him drive around that track. He took control and on that race quite well.
Definitely had his hands full last week as well. So for him to get out that podium result is definitely a credit to what he set out to get last week, and he's definitely carrying over that momentum this week here at the Milwaukee Mile.
And in that race that Sam did win at Charlotte, it was also Daryl Mckenzie coming in second as well. So just shows the guys that are sort of the experts more on oval than they are on the road. So, which really makes this league quite exciting with the 2 road races series.
So definitely going to be quite an interesting race heading into the final race for sure at Long Beach. And me personally, I'm really looking forward to that one. May not be a lot of overtaking opportunities, but it's definitely going to keep us in our seats and with our breaths really trying to catch up. So it's definitely going to be one to watch. Schultz in the recent past has got past Mookie. Should at least see another 38 laps before the guys coming for a pit stop in the field. I mentioned earlier 63 laps in the overtaking field, so we're going to have to at least come in three and a half times to feel safe here.
Just while the guys are running around, I'm going to bring up Scotty Rankin up in the booth. Got a copy there, Scotty?
I do, mate.
You dropped off at the start of that race and decided making your way back up. You're currently in third. How's the race sitting out for you?
So initial phases of the race, it looked like Darren actually got a really poor getaway, and I was about as close to him as I could be. So I just had to let that happen, which meant that the outside line got a lot more momentum, and it was all about race preservation, really. So I wasn't really all that interested in trying to grab spots early, more so preserve the front wing, keep myself alive. Now that I've gotten through that phase, I knocked the fuel mix down a couple notches just to try and save some front right tyre, as well as some fuel. Get myself to that 50 lap mark because that's the fuel window here. I'm going to be coming in. Target's going to be coming in on lap 50 because the undercut is very, very strong at these high downforce tracks. So,
right, and what do you think about Sam getting out to a very strong lead there? You reckon you're about to pull him back in?
Clean air. All about clean air here as well. So with these shorter tracks, you need the airflow getting to all your aero devices as best as it possibly can be. Sam's the only car in the queue that was able to do that. So he was actually sitting there in Discord saying, I'm not 100% sure, guys, did I miss a fuel trick or something? Have I missed something here? And I just said to him, no, mate, it's just the clean air. There's, none of us can really contest you early on because you've just got working aero structures. We either had to pass you on lap 1 or it was done. So, first step, start hunting him down.
Like, you want to ask Scotty before we go back up to the race?
Really set the mark in practice and sort of dropped off a little bit in qualifying. Were you sort of shocked on what was presented to you with the guys that actually got the better of you in Catacasinos and...
Yeah, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I missed the mark. To be perfectly honest, I was trying to fiddle with stuff on my qualifying lap, so I missed the mark. Now, having said that, I was only 0.006 of a second slower in my practice time, but I really, really felt like there was actually a full 10th there, which would have put me on the pole. So I'm a little bit disappointed with that, and ultimately I was targeting getting that clean air. I'm actually happier that I got P3 than P2, but as it turned out, P2 was the spot to be, just with that initial start. So look, I mean, it's all about looking after that front right tyre, getting my head down here, and going in search of Sam.
Have you in the booth and
can I just say one big shout out to one of my biggest sponsors and biggest supporters is actually here in the booth with me, simracingmerch.com. Big shout out to Michael Shaw's new business.
I appreciate that, mate. Thank you so much, and good luck in the rest of the race, and hopefully we get to talk to you a little bit later on, and hopefully at the end of the race we'll top stream, mate. So thank you so much, and good luck for the rest of the race.
Thanks, brother. Looks like it's all going my way at the moment. I've just taken a chunk of time out of Sam and putting it over Aiden, so...
Awesome stuff. Thanks, mate.
Scotty Rankin getting on in the booth there. He's got his hands quite full there trying to minimise that gap from Catacasinos. He's actually done so by about 0.4 of a second on the previous 2 laps. So, well, we've been riding on board with him for quite a while right now, and he's got a massive gap up ahead, and he's got something to really work into here. So, like you mentioned, full working aero structures for Catacasinos. It's definitely going to be a change of play here in the hands of Scotty Rankin. I reckon Catacasinos might be getting on a bit of lap traffic right now. We'll quickly see where he is at. So he's just got past a little lap traffic there, so he's got clean air once again, so he might be able to work himself into where he was before. And just to mention, Aiden Schultz, he's up in the P3 now from P7, so it's a slow recovery starting to get up the field now. Julian Mookie, Mckenzie rounds out the top 5, Baxter, Malone, Pritchard, Phelps and Barber just inside the top 10. Campbell, Casio, Profit, Zerkart in his 14-car field. Profit and Zerkart, those guys multiple laps down.
Yeah, I'm just watching Darren. He has dropped off quite a bit actually. So I don't know if he's hit the wall or if he's got any trouble there. But he does have a habit of burning tyres quite quickly. But yeah, we'll just keep an eye on him and see how he goes.
So looking at the last lap intervals, he's well and truly off the pace right now in comparison to the top 3. It's about half a second on the previous lap alone, so he's definitely got a lot of work to do, and he's going to really sort of make a strategy play to really bring himself back into it. Like Scotty mentioned before, the undercut is going to be very strong here at the Milwaukee Mile. Short track racing, high downforce. I was talking about that earlier as well. I think if Mckenzie's to sort of chip into that time from the leaders ahead of him, he's going to have to make a really risky move to come in the next few laps or so. What do you reckon about that?
Yeah, well, it's sort of like my strategy if I was racing is I'll try and stick to the same strategy as the leaders if I was sort of up in that top 10. But if I reckon he might have to put in early. I think it's the tyres. Looking at his car, I just think it's tyres.
About that hit that first pit stop mark here. It was 8 laps ago from that lap 50 mark mentioned from Scotty, so not too far off that time. So your top 3 Cappuccinos, Rankin and Schultz. So it's actually chipped in a little bit further. Here we go, first caution is out. So Brett Campbell has crashed out.
Oh yeah, big front end damage.
Quickly get a replay here. He's gone side by side with another driver. Just for a cutback manoeuvre here, and he's put the inside on the grass and he's lost the rear end and put it to the outside wall there. So,
He done quite a good job to keep it away from anybody else. So yeah, only damage he's causes, he'll crawl back to the pits and use that fast repair he's got to get back out there. It'll be interesting to see who pits here.
absolutely, a lot of damage coming from that car, but yeah, does this really shake up the strategies here? That's the big question.
So Sam and Scotty pitted, they're both taking tyres and fuel, which I guess everybody will. So that means the window, I reckon, well, they've got to pit again around about lap 100 if they're out on fuel. Oh, wow. Brett's actually stayed out there. I think he's going to try and get his lap back, I think. No, in the pit he goes.
So we've got Mckenzie, Tacassio, and Campbell, those guys all in pit lane. So your current race leader, Casinos, he came in, as well as Scotty Rankin, Aiden Schultz. Pretty much all the leaders came in just a lap ago as soon as the caution came out.
Yeah, so just to let all the viewers know, each driver does get a fast repair where they can actually go straight back in the pits and they virtually come out with a brand new car. So that's what Brett's chosen. So it just sort of keeps the drivers in the race a little bit longer, and hopefully that he can get off a lot cleaner than what he has been driving, and hopefully he can sort of pick up that lap that he's behind, and if there's a next caution, he'll definitely get the lucky dog, as we have lucky dogs here in the oval races at the IndyCars, which is you don't really see that in the real IndyCar leagues.
So we've got the lights out, the pace car still be going green at the end of this lap. So it'll be Casinos, Rankin and Schultz. But your top 3 go-getters there. Mookie and Baxter rounding out the top 5. And right behind them, Malone and Pritchard. Those guys are just remaining in the background there. Look, they're looking ready to pounce. If they can get the jump here and sort of build up their pace. I reckon those guys might be a couple outsiders for a potential podium result tonight. And just to reiterate, Ruben Phelps is actually up in the P8 after this first caution as well. So
Green, green,
14
green.
from the grid up in the P8. So a decent effort from him so far. Question is, can he make more inroads?
Oh,
from
the
here?
next one at the back. I think another yellow.
So Daryl Mckenzie, Ryan Barber, the two Sunstar Esports guys crashed out based on my timing. So we're just going to have a look back at this restart.
Caution, yellow flag.
Second caution out for the night. I think it's been a little bit of a check-up there between the two Sunstars guys. I reckon Mckenzie just getting into the rear bumper of Ryan Barber's car off the restart there. So it was just a chain reaction reacting to the guys ahead. Devastating scenes for the two championship leaders.
Yeah. That could have been Ryan actually missing a gear maybe, and Darren just thought he was going to go a lot earlier than what he did. So definitely in the same race channel, so a little bit of miscommunication there. I might try and bring up Darren just to see what happened. All right, we got Ryan Barber booth. Just want to run through us what happened there, mate.
Pardon?
I just want to see if you can let us know what happened there in that caution.
Yeah, there was just a bit of a checkup that I didn't expect, and yeah, tapped the brake at the wrong time, and yeah, just made a bit of contact with Darren.
Right, you still get your pass repair, I'm sure, yes?
I just used it, but I should be alright. Just gonna try and make it back to the lead lap like I did a few races ago and try and get solid points.
Not a problem. Anything you want to add, Blake?
So it's definitely pivotal to be able to maximise your points in races like this. Like you mentioned, doing it a few races ago. Is it going to be a possibility tonight? Is race strategy going to come into it?
It's a long race. Like there's 150 odd laps left, so anything can really happen if I push hard enough. But I really got to play this smart to be able to be back on that lap. But yeah, all I can do now is just try and get points. I'm sitting in P11 behind Brett at the moment, so even that's good points at the moment. I'm just not really good at smaller tracks like this, so when we get back to bigger tracks like Daytona and Indy soon, it's going to be a bit better for me.
Absolutely. Good luck and see what sort of recovery you can make from here, mate.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ryan, and good luck for the rest of the race, mate.
Thanks, Rory.
So yeah, a bit of a check-up there. So, especially when you come to shorter tracks, there's barely any time to really react coming from restarts. It's just one of those things that comes at unexpectedly. Unfortunately for the likes of Ryan Barber and Daryl Mckenzie, those guys got caught out at the wrong time. So the lights are out of the pace car, and it's still Catacasino's Rankin. Mookie's moved up, so if we had a couple guys come in under this caution, Schultz is back in P4.
Yeah, so that was P1 and P2 in the championship there. They come together in that last caution. So, which brings Ryan to 1 lap down, and Darren is 4 laps down.
So Darren's actually on the live timing. It says he's down and out as well. So
Yes, he has. Yeah, he's out of the race.
Green flag, green
there
flag.
we go green once again. I don't think we're going to have any more checkups this time. Got an overlap going down the inside of Schultz on Mookie. Not able to pull it up. Casinos goes defensive on the inside lane. Rankin go on the outside, just trying to get out the arrow lines. They go side by side down the back straight. Rankin's going to try hold the outside lane, which is really working for the time being. But on corner exit with the inside lane, Casinos is able to hold on. And lurking in the background is Julian now. He's really catching up to the rear of this battle pack. Schultz is also on the picture. Backs to the best of the rest, just rounding out the top 5. We're about to go 3 wide here. This is unbelievable. Lucas is trying to send it down the inside of Casinos. Those guys, Casinos and Scotty Rankin, just swapping positions. Corner after corner. It's unbelievable how they can go 2 wide heading into these corners without actually touching and making contact with one another.
When you do run that high line, you're not getting the speed out of turn 4 and out of turn 2 as what the guy on the bottom line is. So, which makes a disadvantage. As you see there, Scotty Rankin just sort of said, "I've had enough of this. I'm going to come back down and sit behind Sam." And and then you got
aggressive move there. Almost
Julian as well trying to make a move as well.
Schultz is also trying to make it 3 wide down the inside. So that top 5, very heated battle pack starting to heat up. Logan and Pritchard, those guys are also trying to get into the mix as well. Play for keeps after the restart here. Down the inside goes Scotty Rankin. He's set the best lap of the race so far of a 23.3. On the previous lap in comparison to Casinos. He still holds on to the lead. Now, so I reckon Rankin dropped off a little bit on the previous lap. Yeah, so a 10 for the other way now. So Casinos is trying to build that gap as he did so. Start. It definitely shows it's very hard to race bumper to bumper, lap after lap as well. You see these gaps really starting to extend out now. Like starting to really cool their tyres down and just trying to conserve them as much as they can. Definitely one of those things that if you don't get the overtake done early enough, you're just going to have to back out of it. Trying to build yourself into a decent mindset for a fair decent amount of time. You see Scotty Rankin getting down the inside quite convincingly there.
Is Sam going to come back under, is he? No, I don't think he is. I think he's happy where he is. Nice move there by Scotty Rankin. Yeah, Baxter is a surprise driver up there in the top 5 for me. He's coming 12th in the championship. He hasn't won a few races, but he's actually driving quite well.
Especially when you come up against big names, the likes of Schultz and Mookies. Those guys are definitely not easy beats. So definitely showing that he can race with these top guys. So there's definitely a lot of potential there. Just sort of reiterate how the championship standings could potentially line up. Tom Pritchard, he's well and truly within the mix now. He comes into this round P3 of the championship. He's just shy of 20 points down as well. So that definitely means a lot, that contact with Mckenzie and Barber for his respective chances. He's definitely got to win finish driving distance now. He's currently sitting just inside the top 10 in P7. So his teammate up ahead and below those guys. Obviously going to keep consistent with one another.
Yeah, Tom is only 14 points behind Darren in the championship, so with the 3 Southern Star esports drivers up there, which now opens it up for Tom because Darren's now out of the race. So we're interested to see if he can push himself up into that top 5. Tom, I think he's going to start knocking on the door of Darren in that P2.
Good being made from Schultz. He's not able to pull it up through the big corner. He's just pulling it up a little bit higher and getting traction relatively quicker on corner exit. There's definitely a lot of pick and choosing going on what lines these guys are taking. It's definitely making a difference, no doubt, as well.
Yeah, if you see the line that Scotty's taken out of 3 and 4, he's sort of like a car length off the yellow line there. That's just to save some tyres there, I guess. But he is coming out a lot further in round 2. So drivers take different lines on the way they think the tyres are going to last. And where you see Sam, so he comes all the way down out of 3 and 4 on that yellow line.
He's currently on board with Scotty Rankin, so yeah, he takes the inside on corner exit just to try and open it up corner exit as much as possible early on from the corner exit. So definitely saving a little bit of time as well. Catacasino's just keeping that gap within reach.
Yeah, it was out to second and a half, quarter back to 1.3 to 1.3, so he's slowly bringing it back.
He's actually getting a lot of pressure from Baxter now. So Baxter's got past Aiden Schultz. Haven't got on board when that happened. Ricky recording their best race lap so far with 23.2. So he's definitely on pace right now. He's looking to chip into that deficit from the 2 guys ahead. Might be worth hopping on board with him. He's definitely got a lot of clean air ahead of him now, so it's definitely something to work into. Baxter recording his best lap previous. Recently he's right behind Julian Mookie as well, so starting to die down now, so the guys just at the back end of the 23 mark, majority 7s with your race leaders, Rankin, Catacasinos in that territory there, and Julie Mookie, Baxter, Schultz, those guys all in the mid-23s.
Yeah, with the track temperature dropping down to 39 degrees, it's going to play into drivers' hands later on this race. It's cooler with tyres, so something just to keep an eye on. But Sam, he's definitely putting in. He's really dropped the hammer a bit. He's picked up a half a second over the last 10 or so laps, just to bring him to around about a second behind Rankin. So he's definitely trying to make his move. He's definitely pulling away Julian as well.
Barber's crashed out.
He just came down and hit that apron and just lost it. Yeah, he done well to keep it off the wall there.
A little bit of front wing damage, I think that's about it, so not too much structurally, definitely going to be feeling it. Straight, coming into the turning point for these corners, it's definitely going to be really uncomfortable. Lane is relatively busy. Why opts to stay out, so he's trying to get his lap back.
Julian almost pinched that P2 position. I think he did actually. I think
Yeah,
he
he
got
did.
out yeah, that was quite a very quick pit stop there by Julian.
It's definitely going to be a variation of field numbers after that. Mookie getting ahead of Catacasinos. Baxter still in P4, and then Schultz in the top 5. Pritchard's moved up one as well. He's got past his teammate Malone. And Phelps in P8, Casio, Campbell, top 10. And Barber just outside the top 10, bringing out the third caution for the night. He's not going to get his lap back because it's Casio and Campbell. Those guys are next in line.
Yeah, but he should get the wave around here next time round. Because he is, because Scotty's behind him, should get the wave around.
Starting to heat up now. Rankin, Mookie, Catacasinos, those guys have been running in the top 3 for the majority of the night so far. We're just about to tick over halfway, and the pace between those top 3 guys is really insane. Rankin just coming to grips with it now, and he's been the quickest guy of recently. But Mookie and Catacasinos, those guys have both shown signs that they can replicate that pace, and it's definitely proving to be a three-horse race between those top three guys. Maybe a couple outsiders, Baxter, Schultz, Pritchard. I think those guys just outside sort of need to up their game just a little bit to get on par with those guys.
So Barber's pulled into the pits now after getting that wave around. So he would get a end of line penalty, which will be at the end of the line anyhow, but I'm sure he's going to try and get out before the guys come around. He does. So he'll try his best to get around as quickly to join the rest of the field for the start, and he'll now be on the lead lap.
There we go, green once again. So it'll be Scotty Rankin over Mookie and Catacasinos. Forward on board with them. So Mookie's pretty much replicated Rankin's restart there. He's right on the rear bumper lurking now. He knows he must get this move done quite earlier on this stint. So right in behind. Baxter's
back
out, so Baxter's lost it. Corner exit the last corner. Another caution is upon us. It's definitely heartbreaking for Baxter because it's definitely a good result, good running from him so far, and to lose the rear end, I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, just coming out of 4, I think he just put the foot down too hard and lost it on cold tyres. I'll see if I'll bring in the booth for a bit of a chat.
Got a bit of a replay up on the screen now. So I reckon there's a little bit of avoiding action on the outside as well, and yeah, it's just rotated it on corner exit.
All right, we've got Pete in the booth here. You got a copy of you, mate?
Hey, go fellas. How you going?
Good. What happened there? Just cold tyres, heavy foot coming out of 4?
Oh, cold tyres. And, you know, I had the chance of my lifetime to overtake Sam, and I haven't done that before. So, yeah, heavy foot and cost me.
So you still got your fast repair left, haven't you? Or,
Yeah. Just with 32 seconds left to go to tow, and then I'm out of here. But I might be a lap or two down. Hopefully I can get a lucky dog and get back into it.
you want to ask there, Blake?
Running the top 5 for majority of the race so far, and for it to end like it halfway through is definitely heartbreaking. But there's been a lot of guys out there sort of in the same boat, but you reckon there's a recovery drive up and about. Still got that fast repair left, so there's definitely something to make of this for sure.
Yeah, we'll see how we go, Brooke. You know, it's rookie year, win some, lose some, learn some, give it a go, and we'll see what happens, really.
Fighting with a lot of quick guys up there. Yeah, Sam Catacasinos, Julian and Schultzy, those guys racing around you. It's
Hey, man, can't hear you much. I'm back on the track now. But, hey, look, all I can do is get up to the back of the pack, wait till the race starts, see if I get a lucky dog and try and get back into it, eh?
Yep, absolutely. Good luck.
But, yeah, no, it's just best league I've ever been in this. It's fantastic. Loving it. And thanks, Shorey, for putting it all on, eh?
Not a problem. Thanks, mate. Good luck for the rest of the race. Hope you get back up there.
No worries. Thanks, fellas. See ya.
Get back up to the back of the pack. I think the lights will come out at the end of this lap. It'll be Rankin, Mookie, Catacasinos, still the top 3 as status quo. A little bit of movement with Schultz moving up in the P4 as a result of Baxter's moment just a couple of laps ago. Pritchard, he's up into the top 5 now. Malone, Phelps is up in the P7. Casio and Campbell both on the lead lap. Now Barber's a couple laps down now, so there's a lot of work to be done there. Campbell drifting off into pit lane. So none of these guys still not able to make it home. So it's going to at least be another 1.5 pit stops or so. So we'll see how they sort of bring that into play. Scotty Rankin will lead the field once again. He's going to try and replicate what he did for the previous 2 restarts and try to build a gap quite quickly.
Yeah, Brett Campbell just went in to top up with fuel. He didn't get tyres at all, so got it at the back end. So we just thought he would just go in and just get that little bit extra fuel.
It definitely opens up the green flag strategy as well. So Scotty Rankin will lead. He's building that gap out quite earlier on as well. Mookie's just been caught in the dust, half a second down. Also falling back. Eight shoots in the background with Richard, that's the top 5. Moment there from Rankin. He lost the rear end for a slight moment. Mookie's going to send it down the inside, so he's made the most of a mistake from Rankin on corner exit there.
Yeah, Scotty he likes running that higher line, car lengths off the yellow there, but I think he was a little bit too high and lost it. Opened the door for a great move there by Julian. Oh, I think he's hit the wall too, Scott. Rankin.
Thought him out just a little bit. May have headed up those rears slightly, trying to correct it there. Personal best lap, 23.4. Chipping in once again, right on the rear bumper as he crossed control line. So Mookie's just backing out of it slightly. Schultz and Pritchard recorded personal best lap times. Go down the inside goes Scotty and Mookie. And Canacasinos might be in the box seat as well now. Very racy in the background. He's also brought in Schultz in the green machine behind. Top 4 packages completely gapping the next best in Pritchard, P5, then Malone. We're going to go 3 wide here.
Blake, got Tom in the booth. Tom, you got a copy there, mate?
Oh, Roger, I'm here.
So, you're sitting in P5, mate. How's your race panned out for you?
So far so good, although we just nearly, me and Adam just nearly had an altercation. I don't know if you saw that, but on the start of the last restart, we, yeah, he came up behind me and gave me a little hurry up.
And like, like it looks like that the top 4 guys are sort of like get a decent gap away from you. Is that a oh, there's a yellow,
Oh,
but
here
is
we
that a
go.
problem for you? Is it getting away from you a little bit like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I seem to be early in the run. In the very first few laps, I'm struggling a bit. But then once the tires come up to pressure and stuff, I'm able to lap pretty much on par. I mean, the last few laps, I'm looking at my deltas here. I'm actually faster than the leaders. So yeah, I'm kind of I'm feeling like the car's good, and I'm in a good zone of the track. It's just early in the stint from these restarts. I'm struggling a bit on when it's cold tires. So yeah, so hopefully yeah, we can get some more green running, and should be good.
Not a problem. Anything you want to add there, Blake?
Now, with 2 top championship contenders sort of down and out right now, you're pretty much in the box seat to really chip in on that lead from Ryan Barber at the top. You're just shy of 18 points down and sitting P5 right now in comparison to him P10. It's definitely a strong play there tonight for yourself. What do you think about your championship prospects right now?
Yeah, obviously, given that we've got obviously Darren and Ryan essentially out, we want to try and maximise the points that we can, and obviously making sure we can try and finish as close to the front as we can. I don't know if I'm going to have enough to get round these 4 boys in front of me, but I'm certainly going to give them a red hot go. That's for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, knowing your boss there, Andy, he doesn't like it when anybody pulls out of a race, so he definitely won't let his son do it. So little points are points wherever you finish. I'm sure that's what he's telling his son, just to stay out there and just continue knocking down the laps and try and finish as high as he can. Is he saying the same for you as well?
Yeah, little Ryan, he's a good little steerer. It's unfortunate he got caught up in in one of those early crashes, but yeah, he's a trooper. He'll keep steering on, and he's going to be he's a real talent for the future. That's for sure. I mean, I know he's driving real cars and all this kind of stuff. So a lot more than this hack, I can assure you. So I think he'll be definitely in a good running for the championship, and I think that definitely he's going to be making sure he scores as many points as he can.
Not a problem, Tom. Sitting in P5 at the moment, mate. Good luck for the rest of the race, and hopefully we'll get to have a chat with you after it.
Get your pom-poms out. I expect you two to be cheering me all the way home.
We will, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. So Catacasinos has got ahead of Mookie through the pits, so change of guard there.
Well, Mookie just got him on the last pit stop as well, so
sort of evening it out now, so I reckon they might be on par with each other fuel number wise.
there's Ryan there getting the wave around. He'll get one of his laps back.
So he's 1 lap down now. So the lights are out of the pace car. They're going green at the end of this lap. As for Barber, he's catching up quite quickly. Rankin, Catacasinos, Mookie, top 3 runners still the same. Schultz and Pritchard are lurking in the background, but early pace isn't playing into their favour. Lone, Phelps, Campbell, Baxter, Barber as your top 10. Go further down to Casio in P11, and the rest of the guys, Mckenzie, Prophet, Zerkart, they're all down and out. So Rankin sticking that gap pretty much instantly once again. Keeps decent temperature into those tyres under caution as well, which is a little bit unusual. Especially when the guys slow down quite a bit. pace car conditions. Casino's starting to react to.
Scott Rankin's continue taking that high line coming out of going around 3 or 4, which is sort of you just see guys behind him slowly sort of he does open the door quite a bit where he comes down there and blocks it, but keeps on that high line using the same tyres, but it's also going to bring the guys behind him into play, so somebody's got to watch out there.
Halfway stage, still plenty of laps to go, but a lot of these guys will get on a new set of tyres coming next pit stop, so really letting them in quite easily. Casinos, you really want to have him bump the bumper of the closing laps because he'll definitely catch you out at some point. Observing what's going on ahead, Scotty Rankin reporting the best lap of the race. 22.2 for Schultz as well. Schultz is right on the rear bumper of Julian. His lap's getting quicker from Scotty up ahead with a 23 flat. Casino's just been caught out in the dust here. So I reckon Scotty's definitely responded to what was going on a couple of laps ago. I think it may have been a luring in tactic just to get the guys behind to also use a little bit of tyre as well, maybe.
I've just been keeping an eye a little bit on Ruben Peltz. This is his first race in the IndyCar, so you know, he does have the chase every now and then, but he's keeping it clean. You know, give him about 3 or 4 races, and you're going to definitely see him up in the top 3. Sitting P7 at the moment, but slowly sort of pulling Adam in a bit. So, like, I reckon it could be a top 5 there if he keeps on going the way how he is.
So definitely a completely different nature to the likes of NASCAR and truck racing as well. There's a lot more aero in play in this sense when it comes to IndyCar. Is the transition relatively easy, or is it sort of like you got to get used to the amount of grip that you actually have in an IndyCar?
Oh, it's night and day. The downforce in these cars are just amazing. Yeah, some of the stuff you can do in an IndyCar, you just definitely can't do in a NASCAR. But like the tyres, because the NASCAR's a lot heavier, you definitely burn more tyres than you put in the car. Saying that, Ruben just got past Adam Malone there, I think it was. But yeah,
I think that was Ryan Barber.
Sorry, mistake it was. Yeah. But yeah, like your tyres are like I can get through 50 laps here on a set of tyres in the car where I'll be sort of pushing 30 in a NASCAR, so definitely a lot different.
A lot more weight as well to contend with. I feel like in NASCAR you definitely got a lot more feeling in the bottom end, as in the IndyCar you sort of feel like you also feel like you're grip as well, so it's definitely a weird feeling driving in an IndyCar in comparison to a NASCAR. Even a truck, a NASCAR truck for that matter as well.
Yeah, I love driving the trucks around this track.
extended that gap out to just shy of 1.8 seconds there. Catacasinos needs to recover a little bit of time now. Now this is where it starts to get really interesting. If we go green for the rest of the race here, Catacasinos realistically needs to be right on the rear bumper of Scotty to really keep himself into contention.
And how they are all spaced out, I think this could go green. They've settled in on these sets of tyres now, so this could go green for the rest of the race. It would be good to have a green stop, a green flag pit stop. What the drivers do if they take tyres or not.
So just gonna change of position. So Schultz is up in the P3. I only just caught onto this right now. He's probably done a couple of laps ago, but he's got the upper hand on Julian. So Julian back in the P4. About to be under pressure from Richard. He's really looking racy now. Like you mentioned in the interview a few moments ago, his tyres really get up to temperature after a few laps on a green flag run. So I reckon it's definitely the prime time for him to really make a move on Julian in the next few laps or so.
Yeah, he's slowly pulling Julian in. He's Tom's sticking to that high line as well quite a bit to try and save tyres. Yeah, where last season Yuki and Mckenzie both won 2 races each. So yeah, it's be good to see. It's always good to see new drivers having new drivers win all the time, but always happens.
Starting to wheel in Scotty in the previous 2 laps, so he's making a charge, trying to get onto the rear bumper before these guys come in for pit stops. It's almost beating Rankin a 10th each lap, which is quite a lot when it comes to short oval racing.
Yeah, if Scotty can sort of get back out to, like, the way I think this is going to play out is that they'll pit and the leader pit. So if Scotty can sort of get a little bit more of a gap on Sam, you're going to see most probably them getting around about lap 150 to 160. So that will give them enough fuel to get home, and the tyres with about 40 laps to go will be quite enough for these drivers. So be interesting to see what when they do pit the last time. Scotty's pulling away a little bit that lap on Sam, so it'll be quite interesting. Hopefully Sam can catch up to him.
Go through the grid as it stands. So we've got Scotty Rankin, Catacazinos, and Aiden Schultz, your top three. Julian and Kim is in P4. Pritchard is your top five. And then we go further down. These guys are a lap down. Malone, Phelps, Campbell, Baxter, Barber just inside the top 10. And then the last of the circulating cars, Casio and P11. So 33 laps down. Circulating enough laps just to get a small amount of points there. Very interesting period coming up in the next 10 laps or so. Race leader Scotty Rankin extending the gap out to 1.6, so sort of died off a little bit a couple of laps ago. Now getting back to where he left off.
I think Julian, Julian that Peter just said, was it?
So we've got Barber and Casio in pit lane.
Yes, so with about 60 laps to go, it'll be good to hear from some of our viewers. The YouTube live chat. Let us know who you think that's going to win the race. Give us your top three predictions. Good to see what the viewers think. Scotty's pulled out to a 2-second lead now, so
Really dropping the wheels off it right now, but could be a response to what's to come in the near future with his next pit stop. But so definitely come up quite soon. Casinos and Schultz pretty much evenly spaced, so everyone got a decent gap to work with. Short's happened to Richard. He's now a lap down. Toward pit lane.
So guys pit now, they're going to have enough fuel to the end of the race, so maybe he's he's done that as a tactic to go in early to get his last set of tyres and fuel. I reckon Scott's going to pit around lap 50, 150 to 160. But I reckon we'll go in.
The race from there and with the strategy players, whatever you want to make of it. Scotty's definitely got the upper hand right now. Casino's in that regard. Battle's starting to heat up between Pritchard and Malone. Those guys half a second separating each other. Looking to get quite heated in the next couple of laps between these two.
Sam is coming up on a lap car there of Ryan Barber, so hope that lets him pass quite easy. He takes the high line. That shouldn't affect him too much.
Managed to send it down the inside of Pritchard. He's got that moved up.
Very nice looking IndyCar there of Tom Pritchard, the Southern Stars esports racing team.
So, starting to look relatively dangerous for Sam now. That gap going out to over 3 seconds. We're ticking into the critical stage where he really needs to be within at least a second to really challenge for a victory here.
It definitely takes out the crossover if he does decide to do it under a green flag pit stop. And that far behind.
So here we go, Catacasinos is in. So he's trying to gain a little bit of time from an undercut by the looks of it. If it is to go green flag for the rest of the race, he's really going to have to hope this plays into his favour.
So it just headed over the radio. Scott and Aiden are now going into the pits.
So that's instant reaction to what Sam was putting up there. Aiden Schultz also in.
Tom and Ruben now also coming into the pits.
Yep. So these guys coming in from P6. Catacasinos coming around in a few moments. He's definitely got the momentum with him. What is that gap looking like between himself and Rankin? And it's pretty much bumper to bumper now. I'm sure that's Catacasinos in the background. No, it's not. That's one of the Southern Stars guys. I think that's maybe Barber in the background as a lap car. behind Scotty Rankin. So
Peter Bax.
He lost out big time under that pit
Yeah,
stop.
absolutely. Peter Bax is also coming in this time round. I'm picking up on the race radio.
Pritchard and Phelps moving up a position as a result. So currently race leader is Mookie, but he's in pit lane as well as Malone. So the top two guys in. They'll be relegated down the order. We've got provisional race leader Scotty Rankin coming across the control line now. He'll move up back into the lead of this race. And should be Catacazino's in P2. Julian coming out in P3, but still in pit lane. Campbell coming in as well. So Pritchard should be able to get past Campbell, maybe even Malone. He does so. So that's very crucial for himself to get a little bit more points right there. Whether or not he's going to be able to hold off for P4, it's another story. So the likes of Phelps, he's up into the top 5 now, so it's a decent charge from the rear of the field. Whether or not he can hold that is something we look forward to in the next 40 laps. Catacazino's with a personal best lap last time around, 23.1. 10 tenths of a second quicker, 1 tenth, sorry.
And that gap between Rankin and Catacazino is now out to well over 4.5 seconds. So, but don't write Sam off yet. He'll finish off strong, and I'm sure that gap will get shorter and shorter with the last quarter of this race to go.
It's definitely something to keep an eye on, no doubt, because that early race pace we saw from him in the first innings, what's sort of required from here to really get up to speed and himself a good chance here. He's actually pinned Rankin by almost half a second on the previous lap, so he's responded quite quickly. Julian's personal best lap in this session.
Track temperature has come down a lot as well, which will help the tyres. It's down to about 35 degrees now, so fill the track the longer the tyres will last for. Where I think the start of the race is up around about the 40 degree. Oh, just got loose then.
Wobble black traffic up ahead for one of our key front runners here. So that might sort of play into the result. So Scotty Rankin getting caught up big time because Catacazino's is almost within 3 seconds.
Yeah, Scotty was just pushing a bit too hard in the last few laps and sort of come very close to hit the ball.
With 32 laps to go, it's now or never for Sam. Julian's definitely truly out of it now. He's 5 seconds behind Sam, which makes him just under 9 seconds behind Scotty. So that's almost half a lap down.
Very quite surprised to see Ruben in front of his Aiden's teammate there in P5. Really good drive by Ruben. not going to take him long to pick these cars up. I reckon over the next 3 or 4 races, I reckon we'll see him up there in the podium.
He's got quite a comfortable gap over Schultz as well, and he's only within 1.5 seconds of Pritchard ahead, so don't wipe him off on getting ahead of Pritchard either, because he's definitely within striking distance.
All right, they're talking about Ruben. We've got Ruben in the booth. Can you hear us there, mate?
Yeah, sure can.
Mate, very impressive. P5 in your first IndyCar race. How you feeling out there?
Well, it's not the first time I've ever driven these cars, but in this series it's definitely my first race, and it's been a bit of a hard one, still trying to get used to the grip and all that sort of stuff, but just sort of logging laps and had a couple of three different half spins, and I've nearly hit the wall, but I've saved it thankfully. So yep, running P5 at the moment, so pretty good.
Yeah, like as I was saying earlier on the broadcast, give it about 3 or 4 weeks races, I think we'll definitely see you up there on the podium. What do you think the difference is between, say, these and a Cup car?
Oh, I think it's just the speed and the downforce between them is just, these cars are all relying on the downforce and speed around the corners, so it does make a lot of balance difference, and of course reactions as well. Was you can do a lot more movability and stuff in the Cup cars and the NASCAR vehicles, but these cars you just can't. As soon as the wheel jumps out of your hand, you're going for a ride. So that's definitely, it's sketchy and fun at the same time.
Anything else you want to add there, Blake?
So personally, when you compare the two, what do you have more fun driving then? Do you like having a lot of grip, or do you like having as little grip whatsoever?
Personally, I like to have a little bit less grip and downforce, but at the same time, I'm still happy with any sort of car. I've just got to figure out how to get the centre of these corners right, and then any car's going to be fun to drive, and you'll be good at anything.
Well, thank you very much for coming down and joining us. It'd be good if you can finish in front of Aiden. I'm sure you'll have the bragging rights over that. And good luck for the rest of the race, mate. We'll hopefully talk to you again soon.
Yeah, cheers, thank you.
Cheers, mate. Definitely sounds like he's having a lot of fun out there. Scotty Rankin, once again, getting that gap out of 4.6 seconds, so it's a bit of cat and mouse being played here. Two guys, Scotty Rankin and Catacasino, is on two completely different strategies in how they're using their tyres, so I reckon it's almost out of reach. If we do have another caution, that's the only thing that can bring Sam back into it. Definitely will mean a lot for Scotty as well. He's quite a fair way down in the standings, although he's had 2 less races competed than any of the top contenders. It's definitely going to put him within the mix.
Yeah, but the bonus points you'll pick up, you'll definitely get one for the most laps led and lead the lap. And so I reckon you might get about 3 or 4 points there with the bonus. Team's coming off the lap traffic. Peter Baxter pulls over up high and takes that easy, so doesn't get held up there, but he's still over that 4.5 seconds behind Scott Rankin.
Sort of get a gist of our biggest movers so far. So Phelps, he's up 9 positions from last on the grid. Then we got Campbell, he's up 6. Julian's up 3. In the final podium position, next best is Baxter, he's up 2, and he was up as high as 5 positions up from the starting position earlier on. Unfortunately, got caught out with that spin on corner exit.
Sam is slowly, he's getting a couple of, it's down to 3.8 seconds now, the lead. That's Scotty's got over Sam. So, don't write it off yet. I think it's gonna come down to about a second. I'm sure that Sam is praying for the racing gods for a caution. Just went on board with Scott at the moment. You can actually hear him changing gears as he's coming in and out of the corners where instead of just people all the way around. Yeah, which I find really weird. When I was I took a bit of a split up, I kept people all the time. I didn't really feel the need to sort of shift up or down, but you definitely hear the gearbox working hard on Scott's machine than you would on Sam's. Yeah, just jumped out and spoke to Adam. Trying to get up there as best he can, but he got a speed in the pits penalty. That's the reason why he's laps down. So when I asked him, he was very disappointed. I won't actually repeat the words that he said, but yeah, fortunately he got a speed from that last pit stop.
Almost 7 laps to go. Scotty Rankin, quite a healthy lead. It's hard to look past him now. 4.2 seconds over Catacasino's. Next best Julian, 6.7 seconds behind Sam. So quite a commanding result. If it stays as is, we'll have our first repeat race winner this season in Scotty Rankin.
when you look at it, it has been a performance by Scotty. He's drove really, really well. Take nothing away from Sam and Julian, but like when you're watching, say the V8 ovals, when he gets out in front, he's just head down, bum up, and he's away. Very good, consistent driver. So with the gap now out to 5.2 seconds. So I think the only thing that's stop this is a caution, which I can't see one coming.
Then again, Sam's consistency is also one to watch as well. So he's missed out on one race meeting this season, which has caught him out a little bit in the championship land, but keeping up these consistent results is definitely going to help his charge coming in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just missed out on locking into that Pocono race. That's the one he missed out on, which he definitely would have been one of the favourites there. Very, very Pocono. Last season, when we ran at Pocono, Sam finished second, so that would have hurt a bit, missing on that one, but let you finish up for the race, Blake. I'll let you finish the race.
Yep. So yeah, white flag is out now. Scotty Rankin on the final lap. Catacasino's coming across control line. Julian not too far behind. The rest of the guys one lap down or more. So Pritchard is leading the best of the rest over Hayden Schultz. And Ruben Phelps down to P6 now. So he's lost out to Hayden. Really want to be losing out right now. So Schultz, he's got the bragging rights here. And Scotty Rankin across control line. Comfortable race victor tonight over Sam, who was always there or thereabouts. But unfortunately enough, just wasn't able to crack that early race pace, the transition over to the later stage. And if he did, it could have been a lot closer. Julian coming out third best tonight as well. Another podium result for himself as well. So definitely good signs for him, and trying to defend his title from season one. We'll quickly hop on board with Scotty. He's wrapping up his post-race celebrations with a burnout.
Yeah, very, very good races. Very good to watch. Got the top three drivers really was like a caution there at the end would have definitely made a lot interesting. Would have been like Tom would have got his lap back, and I think it could have been anyone's race, but that last half of the race was very clean, and Scott is picks up his second win for the season.
So first repeat race winner. We'll just wait for the guys to tick on through the channels, and we'll get some post-race interviews going on, likes of Scotty, race victor, Sam, and maybe Julian. We'll wait and see.
So we do have Sam and Scott down in the green room. We'll bring them up in a minute. I think Julian, it's quite hard for him to hang around. I think at the end of the races, I think he has to shoot off to work. But we'll just let Scotty finish his celebrations. We'll bring the two drivers up and we'll have a chat with them.
Yeah.
So, Sam has just jumped away from the mic for a second, so we'll bring our race winner, Scotty Rankin, up to the booth. Hey, Scotty.
Howdy. Going on?
Good win, mate. Good win. How did it all pan out for you?
Look, I mean, like I was talking to you guys early on, it was all about self-preservation, keeping yourself alive in the early phases, but also just making sure that you're set up to be in that position when you needed to be. So, look, it was all about race setup, more so than anything else, and that's pretty much what I went out with the mindset. I needed to qualify towards the front. Like I said early on, unhappy with the qualifying efforts. There's a little bit of work to do there. I set it up and did it really nicely during the practice session, but just couldn't follow through when it came to the actual session. And personally, that's something that's been a bit of an issue of mine lately. So probably more practice is going to start being put in from my end. Other than that, it was split the race into quarters, targets of 50, 50, 50, 50. And then when the cautions come out, it was about trying to realign with those targets as best as possible, and that's what the whole race was basically about. Pick your pit stop numbers, pick your time frames, and get there.
So,
Awesome.
one interesting point tonight, after every restart, you really blitzed the rest of the field and pretty much gapped them quite early out of corner exit, heading onto the back straight. What was the go there? Were your tyres well and truly up the temp under every restart?
No. Are you kidding me? No, the first 2 laps were on ice, mate. They were absolutely on ice. I actually said to it, there was a restart there. I think Julian or Sam actually got past me. I literally said to them, because all 3 of us were sitting there in a chat room together talking to each other and actually having fun. It wasn't so much talking about race strategy or those sorts of things, which is actually socializing, which is one of the key factors that draws me to this series, actually. We got another caution immediately thereafter, and he just said, "Oh, what happened there on the first couple of laps?" I just said, "I went into turn 1, and the rear end was just dancing around on ice. Come back around the next lap, and there was no turn in whatsoever." So the first 2 laps after every pit stop were very exploratory. Oh, she was a handful at times, but yeah, no, it's good fun, really good fun tonight.
So you got the best lap tonight at 23.040. When the tyres did wear in, how comfortable were you out there?
You probably saw towards the tail end of the race. You may have missed it actually. When I was actually coming up and around lap traffic, it was quite treacherous.
Around Tom, yes.
Yeah. Tom saw that. Tom didn't want to let me forget about it either. No, it was Look, it was definitely an issue. The biggest factor tonight was getting that clean air as soon as possible. Milwaukee is a great track. I love it to bits, but it's all about who can control the lead. And once you have the lead, after about 5 laps, if you've still got the lead, it's over. Nobody else can really challenge you. It's going to take some epic tire saving. This is where open setups really shine, is when you can key your setup to be running in the traffic, so you're going to have good tire wear towards the tail end. But certainly within one of the fallbacks of fixed setup racing, and it's the same for pretty much the stock cars and officials and things as well, is that the lead car gets the fresh air to all their aero structures. All their aero devices are working to 100% of their capabilities, and that means that they are performing as they need to be. And Tommy Pritchard, poor guy, found out the hard way at Pocono a few weeks ago and put it into me because his aero structures weren't working perfectly. So, it's about maximizing the tires, maximizing the grip that you've got on the road surface, and then making sure that you're looking after everything. Sam was talking to me a lot throughout the longer run, saying, "Oh, mate, I'm coming." I said, "Sam, I'm in fuel map 5, mate. I am sitting here. I am fuel saving because I have a target lap number in mind. I needed to blitz away from the pack early and control that fresh air. Once I had control of that, set it back to fuel map 5, save some tyres, save some fuel, look after the car, make sure I had everything under me, such that when I caught traffic, I still had enough gear, enough fuel, and enough tyre left under me so I could just get by them really, really quickly. So.
Just one other quick question before I hand you back to Blake to finish up. You were you were gearing up and down coming out of the quarters. Is that correct?
Yep.
Was I? Yeah,
Correct.
I thought so. Yeah. How was that? When did that just give you more control coming out of turn 2 and 4, or?
Yeah, so it does. It burns fractionally. So I was down to 3 in both of the corners, and then about halfway off of the corner, I was shifting up to 4th, just looking for the drive. So being in a lower gear really helps apply the engine braking. So what happens then is you can be off the throttle in the middle of the corner and off the brake at the same time, and still be creating weight over the front end because you're still getting some braking forces. Additionally, what that actually does is it also helps the car to pivot. Whilst there's pressure being placed on the differential and those sorts of things, it really helps the car to pivot. And if you're out of the throttle, the car will rotate better. So that's what it was all. Is a mixture of quite a few different things there. Now, should I be in an aggressive fuel save strategy, which Julian is quite well known for, I would have been in 4th gear. But different style, different mindset. Tonight, if I needed to go into that style, I had it in the back of the mind and I was prepared to do so, but it was something I wanted to stay away from if all I possibly could. So.
Right. Well, I'll leave you with Blake for the last couple of questions, and well done.
So yeah, completely different looks from what we got in store for us next week. Indianapolis, 2 completely different circuits. Milwaukee Mile and Indianapolis. What's the go there? Is the draft going to play a key benefit, or is it sort of trying to get a clean air once again there at Indianapolis?
It's about picking your drafting partner. So Sam and I have worked together well. You would have noticed back at the win that I was able to pick up at Auto Club, a large part of the reason that came about was because of Sam Katsakunas. We worked out how to do the slingshot maneuver quite well, and then it was about driving such that I was on a fuel number, but still able to create pace. And Indianapolis is going to be much the same. I got an opportunity just recently to run the previous generation of IndyCar, the DW12, with quite a high tier league in Dark Horse Racing Series and Area 51, who I actually do some commentating for, but it was a bad time slot for me to do some commentating on because it was overnight. Would have woken my wife up, so they allowed me to come and race instead. So yeah, it's about slingshots. It's definitely about tires fractionally. It is a lot easier on the tires there. Mainly about draft, mainly about fuel numbers, mainly about knowing what your strategy is and when you've hit the amount of fuel that you need to save. So it's about doing your homework at Indianapolis, and a lot of time will probably be spent on official racing next week to prepare.
Is there anyone you'd like to thank tonight in regards to your results?
I said it. I did say a big shout out to obviously Shorey. He's actually been very supportive of me lately, and he's actually been helping to keep me quite grounded and quite centered. A few frustrating races of late. I keep thinking back, what would Shorey sort of be doing in these sort of circumstances? How would he be reacting? So I can't. You may not have been talking to me a huge deal, Shorey, but you're a good guy for trying to base my mindset off, and I can't say thank you enough for that. The other guy in particular is Matt Wagner. He runs the Area 51 league that I race with on Wednesday mornings because I'm lucky enough to work from home. I actually get the opportunity to race with some of these American guys. It's given me to run with the opportunity to run with some really, really high tier and well-renowned IndyCar drivers within the iRacing scene. And Matt has taken me under his wing. He's given me all the time and help I need. I need to say a big shout out to the guys from Indy Autosports who've been hugely supporting me. The last time out at this track actually was in a stock car for Indy Autosports, and it was a P3, so it was a really good opportunity for me to take that and upgrade it into a win, and happy to do so for the team. Like I said, big shout out to Shorey as well and his new business with simracermerch.com. I can't wait to flick over some of the artwork that my wife's been working on and get some shirts and stuff done up by him. A big shout out to Mike Browning, who does deliveries for my car. Can't do it without him. He's done a great job with the Simracing merch IR18 here tonight, and personal sponsors as well, 24/7 Race Control and Flat Out Racing Network. Honestly, I've got an amazing team of guys that are around me, and this result has been coming. There's been a lot of frustration. Like I said, over the last 2 weeks, I've been one of the fastest cars in a lot of splits, and it was just about putting a race together, and it finally happened tonight. So
Awesome stuff, mate, and good to see you back in victory lane as the first repeat race victor this season. It's definitely a good title to have right now.
Oh, actually, sorry, two more shout outs to Julian Mookie and Sam Katsakunis. How many times do you actually go to Milwaukee and you get to race with guys side by side cleanly and for multiple laps? And both of those guys were able to do it tonight. It's just a big shout out. And Shori, that's a shout out to you in the league as well, what you set up here and the attitudes of the guys here.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, we've been working on getting better races all the time. Our starts in our leagues, I think, are second to none.
Absolutely.
Comes down to the drivers as well. So, I can put some stuff together, but if the drivers don't sort of drive with respect, you're going to get bad racing.
Oh, woo! Got it, boys! We got there, boys! I gotta let that one go.
All right,
thanks, out of me, mate.
Thanks, Scott, and good win, and hope to see you back next week at Indy.
Yeah, mate, I'm sweaty as anything, so I'm gonna go and shower. So big practice now for Indy. Thanks, guys.
Congrats, mate. We'll head over to Sam. So Sam, another consistent result tonight, another podium, kicking it off from last week at the Roval. So what's your feeling from that?
Pretty good. I really enjoyed tonight's racing. Like I said last week, I think this is a fantastic track, and surprised I got the lead so early. I don't know what happened to the left of me, but they didn't go. Green means go, and so I put my foot down. I really thought I was going to get a penalty, not being behind the leader, but it didn't come to be. And I was doing all right. And then the yellows came about and the restarts were fun. The side-by-side racing was fun. But then after a while, I don't know, Scott, he had turn 3 and 4 figured out. He was doing really well coming out of those corners, and I just couldn't catch him. Towards the end of the longer stints, I was starting to reel him in. Well, I think I had the better tyre management for the long run. But we had yellows. I tried to undercut him in the last pit stop under green. That didn't work out. And then, traffic management. And in the end, all a good race. So, I wanted to win tonight. I mean, I want to win every night, but especially this track. But Scott nailed it.
Were you planning on taking your pit stop then, that last one, or was it just... did you have a plan in mind when you wanted to get that last pit stop on the green done, or did?
Yeah, I wanted to have enough laps left so that no more fuel stop, and as early as I could to try and get fresher tyres.
Right, and you were you run a little bit different than what Scott was. You were in fifth all the time. Is that correct?
Towards at the start of the run with the fresh tyres and lots of grip, it was 5th and 4th. It was actually 6th, 5th and 4th. I had such a good acceleration out in 4th gear, I could get to 5th and into 6th, and I would roll into the corner with 6th. And then after, when the tyres start to get settled and a little bit worn in, it was a case of lampooning it around in 5th gear and 4th, and then towards the end of the run, it would be mostly 5th all the way to not burn up the rear end, not to get the rear end to spin out coming out of the corner, and at always having the steering at an angle, like never oversteer the car, because those fronts, when they go, it's really hard to go. But when you've got grip at the front, you could use the rear to help rotate the car. And so, I was playing with the weight jacker, depending on traffic. I was sitting around 6 most of the night. But it was really good fun. A pretty clean race. I liked the very long first stint, and then we had a bunch of yellows. But apart from that, yeah, very happy with tonight. Scott did really, really, really well, and yeah, we were in. A bunch of us were in Discord actually, and it was really good having that company and some pretty respectful racing.
Did you, with that last pit stop, did you think that you could pin him back a little bit with the crossover? You did do your quickest lap coming out of there on lap 160. What was your chance? What were you thinking about your chances coming out of that last pit stop there?
I was really hoping to undercut Scott, nail the pit entrance, which I don't think I did. I think I screwed the entrance up, being a little bit too cautious, not knowing. I didn't practice a full green pit entry, so I was playing safe, and I think I gave some time away there. I was hoping to undercut and get a couple of laps, better tyre grip, and pull him in a little bit, and then hopefully get the tyre wear management to get me even closer. Maybe a bit of luck with the back markers, but yeah, it just didn't play out. He scooted away quick and early. Yeah, and I started having some troubles with my posture, so I was getting a little bit uncomfortable towards the end, and I think that didn't help me either. I wasn't able to feel or finesse the car through the corner right up to the limit without getting that rear end thrown out. So, yeah. Apart from that, I really had a good night.
Now, you mentioned you come in the win every week. How much more does it mean to come out victorious at Indianapolis next week? I know it's not the Indy 500 or anything, but it is the pinnacle when it comes to IndyCar. Does that matter a whole lot more?
It's got a certain special sauce, Indianapolis. Being able to win that's something you put on the mantelpiece, really, because it's usually a long race, and it's usually strategy and tire management and fuel management, and like we did what 200 laps here tonight, and it's a pretty short track, and things can come and go. But in Indianapolis, when all goes well, it's usually pack racing. But in an IndyCar, you can't push, so you're going to have to do a lot of lifting when you're behind, and a lot of throttle down when you're ahead. So that affects your fuel management, like how much you're going to burn. Do you want to be in the front for the first half of the race, or do you want to like stay behind, draft, save fuel, maybe even the tires? But you would always change your tires at a pit stop with these cars. You're going to kill yourself if you don't. You're going to send yourself backwards. So yeah, it'll be pretty awesome. Basic answer.
Awesome. So, anyone you'd like to thank tonight, mate?
Oh, Shori and Full Throttle Sim Racing for having an organisation and a series to run in. You guys, Blake and Metamonan Racing Network, for hosting it. My team, Team Bushfink Racing, for having me. And all the viewers that come along to watch the racing, and all the fellow drivers that jump in and race with us. Keep the numbers up, keep the racing interesting, and it keeps the league floating. And thank you to everyone who comes up, rocks up, and jumps in and drives in all the leagues run by Full Throttle Sim Racing. Without the drivers, there'd be nothing. So appreciate them all.
Awesome stuff, mate, and congratulations on another solid result tonight here at the Milwaukee Mile, and hope to see you next week for Indianapolis.
I plan to. I'll see you then.
See you, mate.
Well, what a finish.
So definitely a lot to get out of that round tonight, and so definitely a massive mix-up in the standings coming out as well, with Ryan Barber and his more experienced teammate and Daryl Mckenzie crashing out early. Those guys are definitely going to take a tumbling down the order, but no doubt those guys are going to get the better on themselves next week and hopefully regain their momentums. But as for the guys that come out in the podium paying positions tonight, they'll be looking for similar results next week, and no doubt they'll definitely be fighting up there once again.
Yeah, just like as Ryan finished 10th and Darren finished in 12th, I think Ryan will still hold on to that top position, but it'll be quite interesting to see how close that Tom does get to his teammate Darren in P3 there for the championship. So definitely not over yet. Still got 4 races left, I think. So it's going to be very interesting. Comes to the last race at Long Beach.
Still plenty of points up for grabs. So yeah, if any of those drivers really want to make a charge, they're really going to have to start making it now. So I think for Scotty, just on the brisk of really getting out of contention, but with a race victory tonight, it keeps that within reach. For the likes of himself and Cat Casinos, those guys are looking for big end of the seasons coming up, and I reckon those two guys are definitely going to be the ones to watch to get Sunstars Esports off the top of the ranks there.
Yeah, very interesting coming to the end. It just shows where like if you miss a race, how damaging it could be for a championship shot. Yeah, like if you can roll together a few wins, you're definitely gonna sort of get back up there. But definitely gonna be a good race to the end, I believe.
Absolutely. So we'll get this closing up now. Next week we'll be at Indianapolis for a 200-mile race there, and what a race we got set up for next week. It's like I mentioned before, there's going to be a lot of pack racing, a lot of bumper-to-bumper action going on, a lot of strategy, and a lot of racecraft that's going to be required to come out victorious next week. It's definitely going to be a pinnacle in the series next week, I'm predicting. So yeah, it's definitely one you're not going to want to miss. So for now, between them, we got the Truck Series this Thursday night. That's definitely another one to come on board and have a watch and see where your favourite driver ends up. But for now, between then, I'm Blake Tilbrook, owner and founder of Metamodern Racing Network. You have watched round 7 of Full Throttle Sim Racing's IndyCar series. So I'll see you in the next